When the girl took a shower, Grandma kept pushing the door from outside nonstop. Helplessly, she had to get up and open the door for Grandma. But the embarrassing things didn't stop there. At night, Grandma would hold her tightly while sleeping. Even when she went to the bathroom in the middle of the night, Grandma followed along. Even during meals, Grandma would thoughtfully feed her. Such intimate contact made the girl feel very uncomfortable. Yet she didn't stop Grandma because she knew Grandma was afraid she might suddenly disappear again. 12 years ago, after Lisa's dad passed away, her mom remarried. That left her alone with Grandma in the countryside. One day, Grandma took Lisa to the market, but in the blink of an eye, Lisa suddenly vanished. Grandma panicked and searched frantically through the bustling crowd but never found Lisa. For 12 years, Grandma never gave up looking for Lisa. Missing person flyers covered every corner of the city. She even spent all her savings putting ads on milk cartons. But to this day, Lisa remained missing. Someone offered double the price to buy Grandma's house, but Grandma drove them out without hesitation. She was afraid that if Lisa ever came back, she wouldn't be able to find home. Finally, the Lisa who had been missing for 12 years was found. Hearing the news, Grandma immediately ran to the police station. From the officer, she learned that Lisa had been taken by her mom to live with her stepdad. But not long after, her mom died in a car accident. The stepdad stopped supporting her and abandoned her in an orphanage to fend for herself. At that moment, Lisa walked in, but Grandma didn't recognize her grown-up face at first glance. However, she still wore the bracelet Grandma had given her. Grandma excitedly rushed over to touch her cheek, firmly believing she was the grown-up Lisa. Faced with Grandma's heart-wrenching sobs, Lisa was momentarily at a loss. Then Grandma brought Lisa back to the countryside. She couldn't bear to let her do any work, only letting her rest nearby. The next day, Grandma took her to the market to buy clothes. Grandma, who usually skimped on food and clothing, always picked the most expensive and best things for her granddaughter. She wanted to make up for the love of those 12 years. But Grandma's intense affection made Lisa feel somewhat overwhelmed. She began to intentionally distance herself from Grandma, often going to the seaside alone to sit for an afternoon. Even after school, she was always the last to go home. But no matter how late Lisa came home, Grandma was always waiting for her under the dim streetlight. Every day, Grandma cooked different meals for Lisa. Worried that Lisa might choke on fish bones, she painstakingly removed them one by one. Seeing that Lisa always ate in small bites, she immediately scooped up a large spoonful and fed it to her. The old house that she had refused to sell at any price was now being sold in a hurry for Lisa's future. Besides taking care of her daily needs, Grandma even gave a pile of gifts to Lisa's teacher for her studies, hoping the teacher would pay more attention to her granddaughter. When Lisa found out, her eyes welled up with tears. From initial discomfort to now feeling deeply moved, she began to learn to adapt to Grandma's love. Every day, she sat in a place where Grandma could see her, wearing the hair clips Grandma bought. Since Grandma fished in the sea every day, her skin was cracked from sun exposure. Seeing this, Lisa thoughtfully applied sunscreen for Grandma. Although Grandma was shy about expressing her love, she still smiled happily. One day, Lisa put on an oxygen tank and jumped into the sea with Grandma. She showed her granddaughter the place where she worked. Thus, the two held hands tightly, passing through schools of fish and coral reefs to reach the depths of the ocean. Everything seemed to be heading in a good direction, but a phone call shattered this peaceful life. It turned out that Lisa's old bad friends were threatening her for money using her best friend. With no other choice, Lisa stole Grandma's passbook, but when she got to the ATM, she hesitated, so she secretly put the passbook back while Grandma was out. This scene was witnessed by a neighbor. The neighbor kindly warned Grandma, but Grandma scolded the person and refused to believe her granddaughter would do such a thing. However, their conversation was overheard by Lisa. Feeling guilty, she went to the beach to smoke, but Grandma's appearance startled her, and she quickly put it away. But instead of blaming her, Grandma asked for a cigarette. Then Grandma asked her whether the sea is vast or the sky is vast. But when Lisa said the sky is vast, Grandma felt a bit disappointed. Then she said that her granddaughter should do what she wants, and that Grandma would always be her strong support. Grandma's words deeply touched Lisa. Even though everyone doubted her, Grandma still stood by her side. So Lisa decided to make up for Grandma's love and started studying hard. Soon, the teacher noticed her excellent painting talent and took the initiative to guide her. With love for Grandma, Lisa finally created a piece she was satisfied with. When Grandma saw it, her eyes were already filled with tears. The teacher, upon seeing it, immediately decided to take her to a painting competition. Just as Lisa was happy about this, a man's appearance broke everything. Faced with the man's demand for money, Lisa had no way to refuse, because this shameless man was her biological father. And Lisa wasn't the real Lisa. She was Lucy, Lisa's half-sister from the same mother. The story about Grandma and the countryside was something little Lisa had told her. Back then, their family of 4 was in a car accident. Lisa and her mom died on the spot. To claim a huge insurance payout, Dad put Lisa's bracelet on Lucy's wrist. After receiving the compensation, Dad sent her to an orphanage. Lisa didn't dare disobey her father's wishes. Early the next morning, after Grandma left, she still stole Grandma's passbook and handed it to her father. On the day of the competition, Grandma held her granddaughter's hand, telling her to take good care of herself. The more Lisa thought about it, the more guilty she felt. She didn't want to keep deceiving Grandma, so after the competition ended, she left a letter of apology and departed. Neighbor uncle had always felt something was off with Lisa and secretly did a paternity test. The results showed that Grandma had no blood relation to him, but Grandma simply didn't believe it. However, the next day, Lisa was arrested and taken to the police station. Grandma, as before, rushed over anxiously. She wanted to take Lisa home, but Lisa lowered her head and softly said sorry, confessing her true identity. Until Grandma saw Lisa's memorial tablet, she finally couldn't hold on and fainted. At the same time, Lisa, filled with guilt toward Grandma, confessed everything. She didn't want to continue impersonating Lisa and making mistakes, so she reported her father to the police, helping Grandma recover all her savings. Then she changed her name back. Her father was also arrested for fraud. Lucy was sent to juvenile detention for theft and identity fraud, and Grandma returned to living alone. But she still set out 2 bowls of rice. In a daze, she seemed to hear her granddaughter's voice.
나 배고파.
야, 나 새끼, 밥 먹자.
But all of this was just Grandma's illusion.